Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another lecture. In today's class, we are going to cover the board of directors into detail. We are going to cover the types of directors. We are going to cover the composition of the director, and also we will discuss that what are the benefits of keeping the chairman and the CEO separate offices and the separate person for the chairman post and the NAD post, the CEO post, right? So first of all, let us read the definition of the board of directors. So the board of directors is a group of individuals collectively responsible to lead the company to achieve its objective. Now focus on this thing. There are three different parts of this definition. Number one, that the board of directors are the group of individuals. So it means that there is no single person we can say it's a board of directors. No, all every director, all the directors on the group basis or the collective basis, they make the board. All right, once the board is made, it includes all the directors, right? Whenever I say board, it includes each and every of the director. These directors are responsible to lead the company and lead it in this way or in such a manner that it achieves the objectives of the company. All right, be it NGO, be it profit oriented, be it public sector, whatever it is, you lead it to achieve the objective. All right. Now, if I talk about the types of the director, so we all know that we have two kinds of or the two types of directors. General, on the you can say the broad perspective by their characteristics. We have executive directors and we have the non-executive directors, right? Non-executive directors. You would have heard this word NED. Yes, these are the ones who are called non-executive directors. So we have some criteria based on them. There are some differences between the executive directors and the non-executive directors. So what they are? Number one, involvement in the operation. Number one, involvement in the operation. Number two, salary, bonuses and perks. Number three, independence, right? So if I talk about the involvement in the operations, the executive directors are the one who actively participate, actively, not the word actively, they regularly participate into the day to day business of the company. They participate or are involved into the operations of the company. All right. Non-executive director, they are not involved into the day to day operations or day to day matters of the company. All right. Salary, bonuses and perks. Executive directors, they collect or they receive the salary, bonuses and perks from the company. Non-executive director, they don't receive it. They don't receive the salaries, bonuses and the perks. What they only get? They only get the fees for attending the board meeting, and that's the very nominal fees to cover their traveling expenses. All right. So these are the only benefits which they get. So the non-executive directors. Independent. Executive director are not independent. Sir, why they are not independent? Number one, they are themselves involved into the matters of the company, operations of the company. How they can be independent, right? The board has the the board has the duty to evaluate the performance of the business. How can they evaluate their own performance? That's why they are not independent, right? Because they have done something and now you are saying that evaluate it, so they will, but not independently, because that's their own work, that's the thing that they have done by themselves. And also and also they are taking the bonuses, perks and salaries from the company. Can you say that they are independent? No, sir. They have this interest in the company also. They are the employees of the company. They are taking these perks, so their interest is connected to the company. They see company from the eyes of having some interest, so they are not independent. But the non-executive directors, they are the independent director, because they are not taking any fees, they are not employees of the company, and they are not involved into the day-to-day operations. So they are totally independent. All right. Now these were the differences. Now if I talk about the functions of the board, because we are talking about the whole board, So the functions of the board, what they are: number one, act in the best interest of the shareholders, again because they are the agent of the shareholders. So the the relationship of agency requires them to act in the best interest of the shareholder and fulfill their fiduciary duty. Maximize the profits, all right, that's in the best interest of the shareholder, that you try to maximize the profit, right? Provide a proper leadership to the company because they are the one who are required to lead the company, all right. Monitor and evaluate the performance of the CEO and the executive. Let me tell you one thing, the board involves all the directors. So they decide that amongst the board member, they decide that one person should go down and become the chief executive officer and become the chief of all the executive, and one person will go down and become the chairman of the board, all right. So now it is the responsibility of the complete board to evaluate the performance of chief executive and the other executive directors and the executive management members as well. All right, it's their responsibility. Monitor the performance of the board committee. Under the board, there will be audit committee, there will be nomination committee, there will be risk committee, there will be you can say remuneration committee. All right, so it is the duty of the board to evaluate their performances, what they are doing, what they have achieved, what are their objective, what was their performance. All right. Legal compliance. Again, they are the leaders. They are the one who are required to lead the company. So it's their responsibility to make sure that the board is meeting the requirements of the legal laws and regulation. All right. The company is not breaching any laws and regulation. Major investment and borrowing decision, it's the responsibility of the board of directors to evaluate it in a proper way about any investing or the borrowing activities, because to do any activity or borrowing activity, the company requires the approval from the board of directors. So it is their responsibility to approve the correct investment in the borrowing activities. Communication with the shareholders, it's the responsibility of the board of directors because they are the agent, so that they communicate with the shareholders, and they communicate this communication should be complete, accurate, regular, and transparent. They provide the complete disclosure and the complete information of the real affairs of the company. All right. Now, if I move ahead, we have the composition of the board. So the composition of the board means that if you want to make a good board, what are the elements which you should have it at your board? So what they are? Number one, the board should be balanced. So when I say balanced, what do I mean? When I say balanced, it means S, that means size. The board size should not be too large, that things get too messy, the decision making gets too slow, and it becomes a very costly for the company. And the board should not be too small that the board of directors they become overburdened and there is a lack of people, lack of resources at the board, that they are not able to run the company efficiently or effectively, right? So the size should be balanced. All right. Knowledge and skill, they should have the appropriate knowledge and skill that is necessary to run the business. E stand for expertise. E stand for the expertise. Expertise. All right. The board of directors should have the expertise, or I would say experience. All right. Experience. It's experience, not the expertise. Right. So the board should have the ample amount of experience to run the business. I stand for I stand for independence. The board should also have the independence. So how you will get the independence? By having the non-executive director in the majority at your board, or maybe if not majority, they should be in the balance amount, so that you have the independence at your board. And we will cover the non-executive director into our next lecture in detail. Then we have the S. S stands for split between the chairman and the CEO. Now, what do I mean by this? If I talk about, the responsibility of chairman, the role and responsibility of chairman. So the role and responsibility of the chairman is that lead the board. It's his responsibility and evaluate their performance. Number one, and where the chairman, if you guys have seen the annual report of any listed company, in any annual report you will see a chairman review report. In the chairman review report, the chairman actually evaluates and provides his review about the performance of the whole board. So it's the duty of the chairman to evaluate the performance of the whole board and also lead the board, because now amongst the director they choose one captain. They make him a captain, that okay, now you are our captain, you are the chairman of the board. So that person actually leads the company. Number two, ensures the balanced composition of the board. These all things 1 2 3 4 5 6, these are the responsibility of the one who is making the board, and also the chairman will also make sure that these all check, the list is checked. Number three, director's remuneration. The chairman is the one who is going to approve the director's remuneration. So he is the one who is going to make sure that that remuneration is not too high to be unfair and too low to demotivate that it will demotivate the directors. All right. Then number four, spokesperson to the shareholder. Why? Because chairman is independent director, because you can always chairman will be the independent director. So the independent director, he becomes the chairman, he becomes the spokesperson to the shareholders, to the other stakeholders. So these are the responsibilities of the chairman. All right. And when I talk about the responsibilities of the CEO, it these are: number one, manage the executives and the operations. Number two, provide the ground level reality facts to the board, again because the CEO comes down to the operations of the company. So he is the one who has the ground level or the field level information and the reality and the facts which the other board of director do not have. So he is the person who will provide you these all things. Number three, implement, execute and monitor the strategies of the board. Whatever the strategies at the board level are designed, now CEO with his executive team will monitor, execute, and also implement all the strategies. Number four, regulatory compliances and risk management. CEO will see the regulatory compliances and the risk management at the operational level. At the strategic level, the whole board will analyze them. But at the operational level, CEO will make sure, because again, everything, whatever you have made the strategy, now you have to bring it down to the operational level as well. So CEO is going to lead it, right? The chairman is going to lead the board, CEO is going to lead the company and the executives. All right. So that is why their roles and responsibilities are totally different. So you can never, merge the position or the role, that you can make one person chairman and CEO at the same time. No, you cannot. You can never do this thing. All right. It will always create a mess if your company is big, the operations are huge, complex. All right. This will always create the issue. And D means the diversity. Diversity regarding the gender, regarding the age, because the on board you should have representation of the male and females as well. And at the age, the board of directors should have the people of both young and the old experienced people, because the young blood, they are energetic, they are ambitious, they are risk taker, they have the information, knowledge, idea about the innovation, new technology, new trends, new fashion, everything they know about it, right? And the senior members, they have the experience, they have the expertise of the field. So you need the combination of the young and the senior people who can run the company in a good way. Then knowledge, there should be a diversity of the knowledge. The director should come from the different background, different qualification, different fields, so you have the pool of expertise and the knowledge, and that can deliver the best result and expertise, right? So these are the elements. S for size, K for knowledge, skill, experience, independence, spread between the chairman and the CEO, and the diversity. All right. So these are the criteria for the balanced board of directors composition. Then chairman, there should be a chairman. there should be executive director who take part into the day-to-day operations of the business. All right, because when the people who have actually made the strategies, the one who are leader, they should also take part in the business activities as well. There should be non-executive director, the independent director, to ensure the independence of the business, right? To have the comfort and the trust of the people, because when there are independent people, they are going to run the business for the people, for the shareholders, all right? And the CEO, there should be a full-time CEO who can fulfill these responsibilities. So these are the component of a good composition of the board of directors. Now the last part of this lecture is the benefits which you have by having the separate CEO and the chairman. What are they? Number one, the segregation of the duties. As we said, the chairman has different duties and the CEO has different duties. So when you split them, now you have segregated the duties, because if you will give the same responsibility, if these responsibilities, you will give these two set of responsibilities to a single person, he can never perform them. Why? Because chairman has the responsibility to evaluate the performance of the board, and CEO is the part of the board. How can he evaluate the performance? And he is also the executive director. Can he be independent? Can he be the spokesperson to the shareholder? No, he can never. So that's the issue, right? That is why you have to keep the chairman and the CEO split. All right. Higher confidence of the shareholder due to the independent review, because now your chairman is the independent, because it's separate than the CEO. CEO is never independent, right? Because it's executive director and CEO is taking the remuneration salary. So when the chairman is there and he is separate from the CEO, the shareholders get the confidence, because now there is some independent person who is going to review things from the independent perspective about the company's performance and about the board performance. Seamless communication and issue resolution between the board and CEO, because board, and down then we have CEO. So now CEO has the ground reality or the ground level facts, and the board has the strategy level facts. So now might be the scenario that the board and CEO has the conflict or some disagreement. Now who will prevail? Whose idea or whose decision is going to be taken or will be approved? So in this situation, the chairman, if the chairman is the person who is not CEO, then he can resolve the issue between them. Because if the CEO is actually the chairman, both are the same person, then he will say, okay, whatever I am saying, we will do. Then the board of directors, they cannot go to anyone and say that that CEO is doing something which we do not agree. To whom they can refer their issue, to whom they can refer their argument. For that, there should be a separate chairman from the CEO. All right. CEO can focus on running the company rather than managing the board. Simple. Now CEO will manage the company, chairman will manage the board. All right, you have segregated it. And the disadvantages, what they are, these are very petty nature of disadvantages, but again there are, and for the sake of completeness, chairman might not have the extensive knowledge of the business, because he is on the top of the business and he is not taking part into the day-to-day activities, so he might not have the extensive knowledge of the business. But since we have CEO will provide the whole board, including the chairman, the information about the day-to-day or extensive business aspects. Personality differences or clash may come, because the chairman and CEO, now you have splitted the role. These two are separate person, Mr. A and Mr. B. So now Mr. A and B are separate person, separate mindset, separate mentality, separate background, separate qualification, separate approach, method of doing things. So there are chances that the conflict will arise, clashes will arise. But again, that's not something that because of that you will merge it. If the conflicts or clashes are arising, they will solve it, they will discuss it and find a way out. So this was all about the uh, you know board related concept which we had to cover. I hope that I was able to deliver them with clarity to you. See you all in the next lecture. Till then, take care of yourself. Allah Hafiz.